Good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and, in respect to everyone's time, it looks like we got a quorum, so we're going to go ahead and start. I just wanted to say hello. This is the first time I'm chairing the subcommittee, and I'm privileged to be here. Does any member want to make an introduction or say anything prior to us starting? All right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and call House Bill 98. Chairman Lumsden, if you'd like to go ahead and start.
Yeah, I bring to you House Bill 98. Are we good? Okay. This is a bill that comes as a request from the Georgia Municipal Association. This is a bill that actually passed out of here last year, did not make it through the process over on the Senate side. So this is a bill that simply provides the ability for local governments to do much the same as what we're doing here today, to be able to conduct business via an electronic means like Zoom. Currently, they can hold some meetings and hearings, but they cannot actually conduct business. So this would provide them with the opportunity to be able to do that in an emergency situation, and the emergency situations are clearly defined in the bill. And I also have with me the representatives from GMA who would be glad to speak to the specifics of the bill if there are any questions about the bill. But it's a short bill. You have it before you. And as I said, all it does is provide local governments the opportunity in emergency situations to be able to conduct business.
It seems pretty timely to go ahead and do that. Is there any questions from the committee members on this bill? About 16 turned on. Who's Chairman Powell? You got a question?
I thank the chairman for bringing this bill up again this year. Promises not to call GMA. I'll move that we do pass this.
I'll entertain that motion in a second. Yays? Oh, should we do the public comment? We're going to we have one person in favor that has a public comment on virtual. If we can get Mr.
And this is the only version of the bill, but since I omitted to say so when I began, we're working from LC 476.
That's what I got. Mr. Edwards, you're good to begin your comment.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Can you hear me?
We can.
Todd Edwards, Deputy Legislative Director of the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia. We just want to support this bill in brief. It's pretty clear in state law we can hold public meetings in emergency situations by teleconference. Hearings are not addressed in statute. It impacted a lot of counties during the COVID pandemic. Be happy to answer any questions, go into any details, but I just want to express ACCG's support of the bill and urge your favorable consideration. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee.
Thank you for that. I think we got a motion in a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes to full committee. Next,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to House Bill 130 by Representative Gullett. Whichever you prefer. What mic are you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the committee, this is a bill that passed last year out of this committee and also passed out of the House, but due to COVID and the change of the just the year, it just didn't get through the Senate side. Bill's a little bit changed since last year. We removed we actually narrowed the description of what an alarm fence is, but basically this bill authorizes the permitting of a battery-powered alarm security fence as a burglar alarm system. It would streamline the process for permitting and the registration in accordance to local laws and allow businesses to protect their assets and property. Again, this is a battery-powered alarm system, electric fence. So the reason the bill is brought forth is because cities today, there's a variance a lot of times that goes along with this. So if I have property I want to protect in the city or county, the maximum height is say 10 feet. The alarm system, by law today, an electric fence has to be 2 feet taller. But if the variance in the city or county is 10 feet, I can't go 2 feet higher. So it's a whole process and getting, getting that through the variance process. They always get allowed, but sometimes it might be 6 months, 8 months, and the property that I feel like I need to protect can't be protected. And so this bill just puts that, defines a battery-powered alarm system, electric fence as an alarm system. Helps the cities out. I think GMA, I'll let them speak to it. GMA and ACTG are neutral on the bill. But I'm happy to answer any questions to it.
I got one quick question. Is there one major change that was made to the bill from last year to this year to neutralize the opinion?
Yeah, just narrowed the, last year it said in ancillary components. So it wasn't just the battery or the alarm. It wasn't just the fencing. I think that the narrow description is what, and I'll let GMA or ACTG speak to that, but that's what has allowed them to be neutral on it.
Does any other member have a question? Number 9. All right, go ahead and ask.
Roberts, Representative Roberts.
Sorry,
Hi.
thank you.
That's okay. I'm new. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is any non-residentially zoned property can put up this big tall fence. So in retail areas,
That's right. So what they did, they worded it this way because sometimes cities and counties will come up with a name like a manufacturing zone instead of industrial. So if we specifically say industrial, or we specifically say things, counties and cities have the ability to change what they call an area. And so this just says non-residential.
but I could also see how the counties might want to protect certain commercial areas that weren't industrial too. So I guess that's the part I'm struggling with, is that it's pretty broad. I'm a zoning attorney, so I think about these things.
Sure, okay. From a property standpoint, I believe that you should be able to protect your property. If you believe that you need an electric fence, there's an outer fence perimeter. I left pictures on everyone's desk. It's black and white, but there's an electric fence clearly marked, clearly labeled in the back. Every 30 feet, I believe, is what they have to have these signs. It says warning electric fence. So I don't imagine this. Imagine it's kind of cost prohibitive to be putting it around a place that's not really, you're protecting some assets of value. But I believe ACCG and GMA, again, they can speak for themselves, but are neutral to it. So,
Okay. Appreciate your answers.
Mhm.
Thank you, Chairman, Representative Roberts, and I think Representative Williams, do you got a question?
My light's still on from last time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Gullett, I remember when this came through last year, and I would like to hear from GMA or ACCG because as I recall, they were not present in the room, and we did not have any comment from them when the bill came through subcommittee. So I just would like to hear from one or both of them.
Chairman, I'm more than happy to go if it's allowed. Okay. Good afternoon, committee. I'm Charlotte Davis. I'm with the Georgia Municipal Association. Just to clarify, I was actually here to support. Appreciate y'all passing that, but our association did work with the industry on this particular legislation, and I believe ACCG did as well, although I don't want to speak for their organization. But last year when the bill came before the subcommittee, we were present and we did have, we had discussion in the committee hearing. I believe it was a subcommittee. Chairman Powell, it might have even been in your committee at that time. And we just had concerns that it was a bit broad. I don't think we understood the product very well. And since the language has changed since that version, in the language, I believe, and I had to pull it up, but it does limit what we are not allowed to regulate essentially through ordinance by 4 very specific things. And we felt more comfortable in getting it out of purely residential areas. And to your point, Representative, our understanding was that these would be in primarily industrial areas, whether we called them manufacturing or, whatever else, but certainly not in a mixed use development, which would still have that commercial component, but we wanted to protect it as a residential area as well. We haven't heard any concerns from our members, and I don't necessarily anticipate that we will, but of course we will follow it through the process and be communicating with y'all and the representatives of the particular bill if we hear any. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. All right, is there any further questions from the committee? With that, motion will be entertained. Got a motion to move forward? Second? Got a second? All in favor, say yay or yes. Anyone opposed? All right, passes. Oh, okay. All right, one nay. Moves forward to full committee. Okay, and we're adjourned.